What if I told you that 97% of people sabotage their own success, and they don't even know they're doing it? What if the very thoughts running through your head right now are the exact same thoughts that keep millionaires awake at night? Not because they're afraid of losing money, but because they remember thinking exactly like you do. By the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the one mindset shift that separates the top 3% from everyone else, and it's probably the complete opposite of what you think success looks like. But first, you need to see if you have a weak mindset. And trust me, the signs are way more subtle than you realize. Stick around until the end, because what I'm about to share will either wake you up or make you really uncomfortable. Either way, your life is about to change. What's up, future game changers? Now, before we dive deep into these 5 signs, let me ask you something that might sting a little. When was the last time you blamed traffic for being late? When did you last say, "I don't have time," instead of, "That's not a priority"? When did you scroll social media and feel jealous instead of inspired? See, here's the thing, and this is where it gets really interesting. Every single person watching this video right now falls into one of 2 categories. You're either someone who's about to get defensive and click away, or you're someone who's ready to face the truth and level up. Which one are you? Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you're ready to face the mirror. I want to see who's really committed to growth here. Sign you. 1. You always need external validation. All right, here's sign number 1, and I guarantee this is going to hit different. You always need external validation. But wait, this isn't just about posting selfies and waiting for likes. This goes way deeper, and it's probably happening in your life right now without you even realizing it. Picture this. You're at work, you finish a project, and instead of feeling proud of your effort, the first thing you do is rush to your boss asking, "How did I do? Was this good enough?" Or maybe you're at the gym, and instead of focusing on your own progress, you're constantly looking around to see if people are watching you, judging your form, or impressed by your weights. Here's what's really happening in your brain. You've trained yourself to believe that your worth comes from other people's opinions. You've literally given strangers and acquaintances the power to control your mood, your confidence, and your decisions. How insane is that? I had a friend, let's call her Sarah, who was an incredible artist. She could draw portraits that looked like photographs. But you know what she did every single day? She posted her art online, and if it didn't get enough likes or comments, she'd convince herself she wasn't talented. She let random people on the internet determine her artistic worth. The crazy part, most of these people couldn't even draw a stick figure. So here's my question for you, and be honest in the comments. How many decisions did you make this week based on what other people might think? How many dreams did you not chase because you were worried about judgment? Now, if that hit close to home, just wait until you hear sign number 2, because this one is so sneaky that even people who think they have strong mindsets fall into this trap. And the worst part? It's actually making you weaker every single day. Sign 2. You avoid difficult conversations. Sign number 2 is going to make you squirm, because I'm about to call out something that 90% of you do every single day. You avoid difficult conversations. And no, I'm not just talking about breaking up with someone or asking for a raise. This is about every time you bite your tongue when someone disrespects you. Every time you agree to something you don't want to do just to keep the peace. Every time you complain to everyone except the person who can actually fix the problem. Let me paint a picture that's probably going to sound familiar. Your roommate never cleans up after themselves. Instead of having one uncomfortable 5-minute conversation, you spend 3 months being passive-aggressive, complaining to your friends, building resentment, and eventually exploding over something completely unrelated. Sound familiar? I know a guy, let's call him Mike, who worked at the same company for 7 years, getting passed over for promotions again and again. You know why? He never once had a direct conversation with his manager about his career goals, his performance, or what he needed to do to advance. He just hoped someone would notice his hard work. Spoiler alert, They didn't. Here's the brutal truth. Every difficult conversation you avoid is a piece of your power you're giving away. You're literally training the world to walk all over you. Drop a comment right now. What's one difficult conversation you've been avoiding? I bet reading other people's stories will give you the courage to finally have yours. But here's where it gets really crazy. Avoiding difficult conversations is actually child's play compared to sign number 3. This next one is so destructive that it doesn't just hurt you, it sabotages everyone around you. And the scariest part? You probably think you're being helpful. Sign 3. You make excuses for everything. Sign number 3 is going to sting. But I need you to stay with me, because this might be the most important thing you hear today. You make excuses for everything. And before you get defensive, let me explain exactly what I mean. This isn't just about being late and blaming traffic. This is deeper. This is when you don't work out because you don't have time, while watching Netflix for 3 hours. This is when you don't start that business because you don't have money while spending $200 a month on DoorDash. This is when you don't learn that skill because you're not good with technology while scrolling TikTok for hours. I once coached someone who told me they couldn't lose weight because they had bad genes. We spent an entire session going through their family history, talking about metabolism, discussing thyroid issues, until I asked them to show me their food diary. You want to know what I found? They were eating 3 0+ calories a day and walking less than 2 0 steps. The bad genes excuse was covering up choices they didn't want to face. Here's what's really happening when you make excuses. You're protecting your ego at the cost of your growth. You'd rather feel right than be successful. You'd rather maintain your story than change your reality. And here's the psychological trap. Every excuse you make becomes evidence for why you can't succeed. Your brain starts collecting proof that you're right about your limitations. It's like you're building a prison out of your own words. I want you to do something right now. Think about one goal you haven't achieved and write down in the comments the excuse you've been using. Then I want you to rewrite it as a choice. Instead of, I don't have time to read, write, I choose to spend my free time on other activities. See how different that feels. Now, if you're feeling a little called out right now, take a deep breath, because sign number 4 is going to shake you to your core. This one is so common that it's become normalized in our society. But it's literally rewiring your brain for failure, and most people have no idea it's happening. Sign 4. You constantly compare yourself to others. Sign number 4 is happening to you right now, probably while you're watching this video. You constantly compare yourself to others, and I'm not just talking about scrolling Instagram and feeling bad about your life. This is about seeing someone get promoted and immediately thinking, they probably kissed up to the boss. This is about seeing someone succeed and your first thought being, they must have had connections, or they got lucky, or their parents probably paid for everything. I knew 2 college friends who graduated with the same degree. 5 years later, one was making 6 figures and traveling the world, while the other was still living with roommates and complaining about student loans. You know what the struggling one said? He's just lucky he chose the right industry. But here's what was really happening. While one friend was comparing and making excuses, the other was learning new skills, networking, and taking calculated risks. While one was focused on why others were succeeding, the other was focused on how to succeed. Here's the brutal reality. When you compare yourself to others, you're not actually trying to improve. You're looking for evidence that success is either impossible or unfair. Your brain is literally scanning for reasons why you should give up. And here's where it gets really dark. Comparison becomes an addiction. Every time you see someone doing better than you, your brain gets a hit of justified victimhood. It feels good to blame external circumstances instead of taking responsibility for your choices. Be honest in the comments. Who's someone you've been comparing yourself to? And what excuse have you been using for why they're ahead of you? Let's get real about this, because awareness is the first step to freedom. Now, if these first 4 signs have been hitting you like a freight train, buckle up, because sign number 5 is the master key that unlocks all the others. This is the one that, once you recognize it, will make everything else make perfect sense. And more importantly, it's the one that can change everything if you're brave enough to face it. Sign -5. You have a victim mentality. Sign number 5 is the big one. You have a victim mentality. And before you click away or get defensive, let me explain exactly what this looks like, because it's way more subtle than you think. This isn't about dramatic sob stories or blaming everything on your childhood. Victim mentality shows up in small, everyday ways. It's when you say, "Why does this always happen to me?" When you hit traffic. It's when you think, "People like me don't get those opportunities." It's when you believe that life is something that happens to you instead of something you create. I want to tell you about someone who completely changed my perspective on this. Her name was Maria, and she grew up in poverty with an alcoholic father and a mother who worked 3 jobs. By every measure, she had every reason to have a victim mentality. But you know what she told me? She said, "I can't control what happened to me, but I can control what I do next." Meanwhile, I knew someone else, let's call him David, who grew up middle class with loving parents and every advantage you could imagine. But he had a victim mentality about everything. His boss didn't like him. The economy was bad. The game was rigged. Guess which one became successful? Here's the difference. Maria operated from personal power, while David operated from powerlessness. Maria looked for solutions, while David looked for someone to blame. Maria asked, "How can I?" While David asked, "Why me?" And here's the hardest truth of all. Victim mentality feels safe. It protects you from the scary responsibility of believing you can change your life. Because if you admit you have power, then you also have to admit that your current situation is partly your responsibility. I want you to think about one area of your life where you've been playing the victim. Write it in the comments, but then, and this is crucial, write one thing you could do today to take back your power in that situation. Now, if you've recognized yourself in any of these 5 signs, don't panic, because what I'm about to share with you is the mindset shift that changes everything, and it's something that every successful person I've ever met has figured out. Final reveal. The mindset shift. All right, here it is. The mindset shift I promised you at the beginning. Are you ready? Because this is going to flip everything you think you know about success. The difference between a strong mindset and a weak mindset isn't confidence, talent, or luck. It's this. People with strong mindsets believe that everything, and I mean everything, is figure-outable. They don't have fewer problems than you. They don't have more advantages than you. They don't have secret information that you don't have. They simply believe that no matter what challenge comes their way, there's a solution, and they'll find it or create it. When they face rejection, they think, "How can I improve?" When they fail, they think, "What can I learn?" When they see someone succeed, they think, "How can I do that too?" When they don't know something, they think, "Who can teach me?" This one shift from "why me" to "how can I" will change everything. Your problems don't disappear, but your relationship with problems completely transforms. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the architect of your life. So let's recap what we've covered today. The 5 signs of a weak mindset. Needing external validation, avoiding difficult conversations, making excuses for everything, constantly comparing yourself to others, and having a victim mentality. But remember, recognizing these patterns isn't about shame. It's about awareness. And awareness is the first step to transformation. Here's what I want you to do right now. And I mean right now, while this energy is fresh. First, hit that like button if this video opened your eyes to something about yourself. Second, in the comments, tell me which sign hit you the hardest and what you're going to do differently starting today. Third, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Trust me, they'll thank you later. And if you're serious about developing an unshakable mindset and joining a community of people who are committed to growth, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're building something special here, a community of people who choose growth over comfort, truth over excuses, and action over complaining. Remember, you're not stuck with the mindset you have today. Every thought pattern can be changed, every habit can be rewired, and every limitation you believe about yourself can be overcome. But it starts with a choice. The choice to stop being a victim of your thoughts and start being the author of your story. And with that being said, we have come to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more awesome videos just like this one. Your future self is counting on the choices you make right now. Don't let them down. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember, everything is figure-outable. Now go prove it.